spread His presence over the sanctuary, and we're in the midst of the heavenly work of the Spirit, and so we need to give ourselves to that. I wanted to talk to you this evening. It's going to be a two-phase conversation, but oftentimes we end up doing things and we don't know the reason why. And many times it's important for us to know why. Have you ever been asked to do something you didn't know why you needed to do it? And a simple answer will sometimes light enough fire in you so that now you're able to engage it with some enthusiasm. Am I correct about that? You know, you take your kids, clean the kitchen. Why? There's only 3 dishes in the sink, But if they can understand the reason why, then they might be able to approach that instead of with an attitude, with some liberty. Can everyone understand what I'm saying? Well, tonight what I want to do is I want to explain to you why I called us to engage where we're going, firstly by dealing with this idea of commanding your morning. I sent this out in May and I asked everyone to get the product, Commanding Your Morning. And I didn't necessarily give us an explanation for that, but I want to take our time now to explain to you why I asked you to read that particular book, why I wanted you to engage that book. So, because it's a key to the next step that we're getting ready to take concerning how we're going to walk in life in an astonishing way. How we're going to be able to reach into the things that God has said we're called to possess, and possess them in such a way that they make a difference in the earth around us. And I want to explain to you why I asked you to read that book, Commanding Your Morning. We're living in a day and a time now that if you don't command your life, life will command you. It will run you crazy. If you don't, somebody's going to run this thing. Okay, so tell your neighbor, it might as well be me. Okay, and y'all understand what I'm saying? And instead of life running you, you need to learn how to run life. I mean, it's enough stuff that's going on that literally, if you just sit on the side and let it happen will happen to you, and you will not be happy with the outcome of what goes down. And so it's critical that we learn how to command our lives. That we command what is going to foster who we are. That we spend time allowing the voice of the Spirit of God to speak to us so that now we can get the refreshing of God to direct how we live in this realm. Am I communicating with us? Yes. I mean, if you look at all the things that are going on and allow the voice of what's happening in this realm to be what speaks to you about who you are, it will define you and cause you to walk in desperation and despair. I mean, it's enough stuff happening that if you wanted to, you could find a reason to be depressed. I mean, I'm telling you, it's plenty of stuff going on. And the thing about it is that none of those things are meant to define the success that you're going to come into. I mean, it's true that we have to walk through valley and wilderness experiences, but what we go through in our walk is not designed to dictate the outcome of what is going to happen in the end. And to some extent, we have not spent the time cultivating in us the command power that allows us to thrive even in the midst of adversity. I know I'm right about this now. Because most of us, when we meet a challenge, rather than us having internal fortitude, we just give in to what the reality of our environment is saying, and we become victimized. And so this book is designed to help us to come to the place where now we take the authority of releasing the power of word in our lives so that we don't feed in on the message of this realm to define who we are called to be. And Commanding Your Morning was and is a book that calls you to take responsibility for you living in a soul place. When I mean by soul place, an internal place in you, for you living in a place where now, instead of you going through life feeling beat up and abused, you know how to live life in the midst of it and still find joy and purpose. Am I communicating to us? And for many of us, we're slowful concerning executing the way of God in our lives. And so this book was meant to give you a jump start about how to feed your mindset, about being able to be a conqueror in the midst of your own battle. I know I'm right about that right here. And so the truth is this right here, is that this book is meant to help us to take responsibility for the wellness and the health of our souls. I mean, let me tell you something. The health and the wellness of your soul is not dependent upon how much money you got. And for many of us, that dictates how we sense and feel about who we are. And that was never the way that God said that we could triumph even in the midst of these times. So we have to learn how to get command power in our tongues. We have to learn how to speak to those things that be not as though they were. Am I right about that, y'all? Come on now. It's like you got to learn how to even speak to yourself. David said this, "Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless the Lord, and forget not his benefits." He was commanding himself to rise to a place where the Spirit of God in him would begin to triumph over what he saw, and he would begin to pursue what God said he would be. And as believers, that's the flight in life that God calls us to. So we have to take the responsibility. And you need to read this book because it will give you some skills that you're not trained in, so that now you can begin to speak those things into your life that cause you to prosper in your being. Oh my God. Sister Knox understands this. She would call to my house, and every time I would call her, oh man, she would just flood me over with what she was learning from the book. Tell your neighbor, say, neighbor, you got to get into the book. And that's both books. The Word of God, and you need to read commanding your morning. We're not, it's like this. If you don't direct and train your kids, they will live and grow like wild weeds. Your life, if you don't direct and command it, it'll grow wild as well. And for many of us, we think that a good life just kind of happens. Can y'all feel what I'm saying? That, you know, like it just comes automatically. No. It's like a paycheck. You got to go to work to earn it. Come on now, y'all don't understand. It's like if you don't go to work, what happens to your paycheck? You don't get one. And the same thing is true when it comes to this idea of cultivating your life. You got to go to work to cultivate it. Let me tell y'all something. There was a lot of years that I lived with an angry attitude. Unbeknownst to everybody else because it was internal. Nobody saw it on the outside. But frustration was harboring in my being. And I had to come to the point that I would command how I was going to walk in spirit. And I was no longer going to give myself to inferior things that poisoned and intoxicated the being that God said I had the right to be. And you know something? We have to take personal responsibility because many of us are waiting for our reality to cooperate with us in order for us to find that place where now we feel wholeness. Tell your neighbor, that's a false belief. If you wait for your reality, you know, when my ship come in, when all my friends love me, when the people that are connected to me are finally cooperating with me, if you're waiting for that to happen before you find a sense of purpose, then you're operating in the wrong dimension. Because see, the enemy has set up his camp in this reality, and literally what he's doing is that he's throwing his voice into your life, hoping that you'll feed off of that to define who you are. And see, the truth is this right here. We were never meant to live from the outside in, but we were called to live from the inside out. And unless you command what's going to dominate and have influence over you, unless you take the authority to command it, you'll always be subject to everything that goes on around you. And you'll never find the wholeness and peace that God said your soul is supposed to have. So the purpose of this book is to do three things. One, it is to gain new language skills. It's like this. Many of us, we are not, it's like this. How many of y'all know that they're angels? Raise your hand. Okay. Now, how many of us know how to direct and guide angels? We are aware of them, but we have no proficiency or understanding about how to use language to get them active. We have not spent time training and learning how to utilize the things that God has said that we could actually direct. Come on, think about it. I mean, if you knew that you had that level of authority, how foolish is it for you not to use it? Right. But you know something? We think that it's going to drift in. That somehow it's going to be this osmosis moment. You know, and I'm going to be like, oh, there they are. You get over there, and I need you to stand over here. You have to spend time. And the thing about it is that we got to gain new language skills because we have to communicate to the world around us the need for the God, the Lord Christ, to come in and bring redeeming power to transform a life into what it really is called to be. But how can we be givers and communicators of real life if we don't have transformed language that speaks about the life that is to come and the life that we can possess right now? So that book will teach you, it will help you to gain new language skills. I was listening, and I'm going to have to go back to Sister Knox again. Well, she be talking to me about some stuff now. I be like, oh, girl, it sounds like you'd have been with Jesus because of the language that she uses now. You remember when she was up there and she was talking about that we can't be toddlers no more? I was like, oh, okay. She's trying to communicate to us that literally our skill level in how we are addressing being able to command what God said we should rule is below the standard that we should be walking in. And you know something? We become complacent with a standard that God says is not the one that we're called to legislate. I mean, it's like this. Some of us are allowing frustration to literally have domination over our thinking. And God says, that's not the spirit that I've called for you to dwell in. And so we got to get to the point that we use language that is able to capture and to cast down the imaginations that the enemy would try to use to bind and oppress us. And this book gives us new language skills. It helps us so that we can get used to speaking over our lives. Let me tell you something. Nothing's spoken, nothing changed. You got to learn how, let me tell you something, you can't wait until you come here on Sunday morning to get a word spoken over your life. You got to learn how to speak words over your own life. And to some extent what has happened is that many of us are still locked into the words that other people spoke over our life. You ain't going to never make it. You too slow. You ain't got no motivation. And some of us live by that. Because somebody spoke it, don't mean that that's reality. I mean, some of us were told that we didn't have skills to be able to go into certain fields, that it wasn't part of our aptitude. Come on, listen to me. And if you allow those words to be the words that are spoken over the realm of who you have the power to be, you limit what God said you have. So you got to learn how to speak over your own life. Amen. And just lay your hands on your own heads and say, I am a conqueror. Come on now. Speak over your own life. Those are keys. You're waiting for others to tell you who you are. And God is saying, I want to tell you who you are so that now you legislate in your own realm the power of being. See, some of us give ourselves to things that are below the level of standard that God said we should be walking in. And you got to learn how to speak over your life. That book will help you to learn how to speak over your life. And all of these are prerequisites for where we're getting ready to go. And I need, if you don't have this elementary skill, then it's going to be difficult for you to walk into the greater skill. And you got to learn how to use this to speak over your life. Words are powerful. Anybody ever been hurt by the words somebody else said? Y'all know how powerful words is. If they're powerful enough to hurt you, then you ought to figure out words that are powerful enough to heal you. Am I right about that? And for many of us, we become lax and we're not aggressive towards gaining the skills and utilizing the skills to speak over our lives. And lastly, it's learning how to live in truth. It's learning how to live in truth. See, it's like this. Something may have happened to you in the course of life, but it's not the instrument that defines what God says can happen for you. You might have been rejected or disappointed, but none of those realities or facts in this realm ultimately have the authority to define the truth that you have the power to walk in. And you've got to learn how to live in truth. I mean, most of us accept the simple truth that we're redeemed and that God has saved us from sins, but there's other truths that God wants you to walk into, that you're no longer a pauper, that you're no longer dependent upon the cooperation of others to define the life that is in you. You're no longer at the prey of your circumstances to define your value. Those are truths that you've got to instill in you, or else you'll go around and you allow your own thinking and what you've been through in your lifestyle to define who you are. And many times, because of the assault of the enemy from the environment, what you've been through speaks to you about an inferior life and a place that literally is insatiable. It can't be filled. I mean, think about it. People look to relationships to try to find meaning in their own being. And it's a common natural thing. But the truth is this right here, is that God has said, you don't need people in order to have wholeness. No, what I mean by you don't need people is right here. You don't have to be obsessed with other people in order for you to be a person of fullness. And the truth is that we have not learned the art that allows us to live in that realm. So, tonight we're going to begin a transition. But before we begin the transition, there's a quote that I want to take out of Sidney Trim's book, Commanding Your Morning. And I want you to listen to this. Listen to this. And I want you to validate to me if this is true. Okay? The world has formulated an erroneous and limited concept of God. And you, tell your neighbor, that's me and you. That's me and you. You are called to demonstrate His greatness through your lifestyle. God has called you to be His showcase on the earth. Everything about you should reflect the glorious kingdom of God. From the clothes you wear to the way you talk, everything that speaks to your station and quality of life, all should demonstrate the limitless glory of the kingdom of God. You are also called to bring the systems of this world into divine alignment. Let me ask y'all a question. Is that true? Yes. No, come y'all talk to me. Is that true? Yes. I didn't hear y'all. Is that true? Yes. No, y'all ain't say that loud enough. See, y'all want to let it. See, y'all want to be on the down low. That's true. That way, can't nobody hear your confession, you know, and then when you ain't doing that, then you be like, no, I didn't say that. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Just like praying for somebody who needs a healing, and you like, in the name of Jesus, I demand that this illness and sickness come out. You know, then 2 weeks later, you know. Y'all understand what I'm talking about? A lot of times we don't want to confess that out loud, you know, because now we're going to be held accountable. Accountable for its reality. Mark, give me a high five on that right there. Yeah! We're going to be held accountable for its reality. Is that true, y'all? Yes. Yeah. Okay, I like the men were trying to rise up. I like when the men rise up. I need my ladies, come on, women. Is that true? Yes! That's how we supposed to talk. That's true about who we are to be. Now, y'all know it's a problem there, don't you? It's a problem between that truth and our reality. Come on now, y'all. Come on. Now, check this out. You ain't got to be ashamed of the fact that there's a gap between that truth and your reality. But the point is that you got to come to the point in your thinking that becomes a reality of truth that you strive towards making happen. Am I right about that? Now, a lot of us, we be like, okay, Pastor, great sermon. And you ain't been most thinking about that than the man in the moon. But let me tell you something. You're going to get crushed by the enemy. He's going to ensnare you if you don't wake up and begin to take responsibility for the language and the mindset that you use to grab a hold of life. Literally, I was at home and I was listening to the Word of God, and a vision came into my mind, and I could see it in my reality. And this vision was the power, the crushing, dominating power of the sphere of God. And literally, I could sense God giving me the power to be able to grab the cloud of His glory and pull it down into the realm of my reality. Woo! Woo! See, y'all ain't seen it right, or you begin to activate it. But see, we let the enemy talk us out because we stuck on what we've been through rather than where God says He wants to take us to. And we've got to get to this point that we make these. It's like this. I will be honest. This is all a process of literally where Paul says, he says, I stretch and reach and press towards the high calling. This is all part of the process of becoming. But we have to engage in an intense way these truths so that now we begin to speak the right stuff over our reality. So, let me see if I can get to the last one, okay? So the next step that we're getting ready to go into is this idea of living in freedom. And literally, we're going to engage in depthly and intensely. It's like we're going to use the threefold part that I told you guys about some time back. We're going to be intentional in an exceptional way. That's different. You can be intentional about doing some exercise in the morning. And, you know, you get up every other day and do it instead of doing it, you know, every day. And I might get you a little ways, but it ain't going to get you where you need to go in an expedient manner. But we got to be intentional in an exceptional way and consistent. So in other words, you got to learn how to breathe and live and drink this idea of studying your soul. Most of us have very little information. It's like angels. We have very little information concerning our soul. And when I'm talking about your soul, I'm talking about your personhood. Who you have become through the course of life. And a lot of us, you know, our perspective about who we have become through the course of life, our personhood, you know, we think that it's permissible or acceptable, and that even though it is filled with anarchy and oppressions and distress and trauma, we settle for it staying in that state. Come on now, do I have any witnesses? Some of you like, well, ain't nothing I can do about it. Yes, there is. You no longer have to be under the delusion and oppression of that spirit. And you got to get engaged in studying your soul. And that's what we're going to spend our time doing over these next years, is learning how to get our soul healthy. Getting our souls to the place where now they're living. Getting our personhood to the point where now it's not defiling the person that we are. That anger is no longer seated in us. That low self-esteem is no longer driving us. Our personhood is no longer under the delusion and the effect of the history of our lives. Woo! Tell your neighbor, that's a stretch. That's a stretch. Y'all act like y'all didn't know that was a stretch. That's a stretch. But I need you to stretch out on your faith and begin to understand what has happened to you. Y'all have been through some stuff. Come on now, y'all act like I ain't been through nothing. Tell your neighbor, say, neighbor, I don't look like what I've been through. Okay, all right. See, the problem is that we tend to try to come in here and hide out rather than exposing and looking at honestly and confronting and dealing with. Because see, our souls are not in the shape that they should be in, or else we'd be running all over the place like the Tell your neighbors, if you ain't telling it, there's something going on in your soul. Oh, God. Come on now. Come on now. I got to force you to start dealing with you. I got to get you to start looking at what has happened to your personhood. Now, let me help you to understand this better. Because I don't want you to be, to think in a contrary way. You remember what happened with Cain and Abel? God came to him and told him, I see something in your personhood, in your soul. It's all over your face. And if you don't master this, it's going to master you. And he took that direction for rejection. And I want to make sure that you don't misinterpret what I'm trying to clue you into concerning what you got to do in your journey. See, I'm not saying that what has happened to you, you intentionally allowed it to happen. And I'm not saying that you got the devil's hand and you was like, all right, I want to go with you to destruction. I want to go with you to frustration. I want to go with you to low self-esteem. No. That ain't what happened. You know, to some extent, the only thing that you had insight about reflection was the world outside of you. And that was what you used to try to draw your meaning from. Listen to me, I'm trying to tell you your life story. And so, however the world responded to you became the imprint that identified who you were. And that's why we're dealing with this idea, how you became who you are. Because some of who you are is not what God has intended for you to become. And you got to discern those instruments that the enemy has seated in that literally have strongholds in your life that are pulling and still driving how you live in your personhood. Oh, God. Y'all act like y'all don't hear me. I wish I could get a good amen. Amen. Now, what they're doing, amen. I got to get my daughters in the back. Can I hear one? Amen. Amen. Listen. Unless we confront this, let me tell y'all something. And all of us got it. There ain't one person in here who has not been branded, scarred by the events of life. And now we have apprehensions in us about how we moving around on the earth because we have gotten our clues about who we are from the sphere around us, from the realm that we live in. Satan is allowed to use seducing things to cause our personhood to come under oppression. See, and check this out. You did that innocently. It wasn't like you were intentionally trying to hook up with the enemy and let him sabotage your being. You walked into that stuff, and it wasn't like you were intentionally trying to sabotage your own life, but you did it innocently. Not only did you do it innocently, but you actually, when you entered into those places right there, you actually did it ignorantly. And you did it immaturely. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Some of the people that you done hooked up with over your life with, you entered into that relationship because you were immature.
Well, tell me one thing.
Don't y'all play me like this. Let's get real. Why do you stand up and just yell out like that? Come on, tell me what you did.
I did it.
See, there you go. See, she ain't ashamed of it because she knows something. She knows y'all did it too. So we all got to deal with this because it's defiling our souls, our personhood. Don't act like you ain't never been there. You may not be there now, but don't pretend that the effect of your history does not shape the person that you are today. Some of us are ambivalent about giving ourselves. I remember one year I worked at the church, and I worked so hard, doing stuff at the church that I neglected my own stuff at home, man. And anyway, these other people who didn't work half as hard as me, they got an award, they were celebrated, and all of that. And after they celebrated them, I got an attitude in my mind because it's like, I've been working really hard, nobody celebrated me. And I said to myself, well, they ain't gonna celebrate me, I ain't gonna do no more work. Because it was affecting my personhood. I felt as if somehow they disrespected my offering. Oh, God. Sister Christina, they act like they don't hear this stuff going on here. Let me tell you, there is literally on the inside of us something that is gnawing at us. It's an uneasy feeling concerning what we ought to be and what we're letting be. And we have to confront it. It don't mean that you get over it overnight, but you got to learn how to resist allowing that thing to tie up your future. Amen. You hear what I'm saying? Amen. There's some people that are not intended to take you to the next level. They can't take you there because they don't understand how to get there. And you running around with them. And I know some skin because I know when I was a kid, there were some people that I ran around with, and they really didn't mean me no good. Some of them were thieves. But just because they would decide to be my friend, I was like, at least I got a friend. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be by myself. Y'all know how that stuff drives you. And here I am, I'm hanging out with people that don't really fit who I have the potential to be. And most of us not even just certain about hooking up with people who are going to take us to a level that we have the power to be. Y'all hear what I'm saying? But that's you looking at your personhood and allowing yourself to see what the enemy is seated in it. Because there's some things that he is seated. Some of you have made up your mind. I'll be a Sunday morning saint, but I ain't going to be no Wednesday night. That's your personhood. It's your preference. Is that the freedom that God said that you should have in your personhood to follow him? No, it's not. And the point is that you have to begin to stand against that. You have to begin to confront anything that is in error concerning your being. So we got to start taking and sitting down and being transparent. See, I tell y'all all my stuff. Some of y'all ain't even told me y'all stuff. Y'all ain't told me where y'all came from. I done told all y'all that I live with rats and roaches. I ain't heard your story yet. You ain't told me nothing about where you done come from. You hear what I'm saying? You know, why are you ashamed of that? Let me tell you, it no longer has authority over you. You're in the kingdom of God. But for many of us, we're still allowing that thing to bring a sense of unhappiness and belittling to our being. And you've got to look at it, how you became who you are. You got to get to the point that you ain't ashamed of your story. I told some people today, because I was down in the conference in Warren, doing some teaching. I told some people today, they grew up with me, and I told them today about my lifelong episode as a youth, that we're living with that. And I said to them jokingly, now don't you go around and telling other people my business. But you know something? I don't care. Some of y'all, you mess around and have to get on welfare and have that food stamp card, you be ashamed. That don't define who you are. Come on now, y'all. Some of us in here like, give me the card. Give me the card. I got the card. See, some of that might be a bad mentality because you have grown up to the point of believing that welfare was an acceptable way to live. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Don't you get no welfare mentality. Just because you get on it don't mean that you're an embarrassment, but that ain't where you ought to stay.
Right. That's true.
You hear what I'm saying? I mean, it's like this. I would expect that if you had to go there, you might come in and say, y'all know I got the card. But I'm going to have it alone. But I'm good with it. Check it out. And I can shop like everybody else. Now, you hear what I'm saying? It ain't diminished my praise. Oh, come on now, y'all. But see, your soul is the place where all of those activities transpire and what you picked up from your experience, what you've developed from your life in the realm of this reality. The enemy has used it to literally poison and assault the wholeness of soul that you should be living in. You got to confront it. You got to get your soul freed up. So now you can really live. You got to deal with all of those ambivalences and those interiorities. Get them out. They don't have a right in you. They have been put in you illegally. And you need to take legal authority to execute. What do they call it when they put somebody out of their house? Evicted. Okay. You need to tell that stuff. You're evicted. You're no longer allowed to be here. Come on now, y'all. studying the soul. We're going to spend time studying who we are. So we can expel everything that is in us that is not like he said. We got to study how you became who you are. That's a deep study. I want y'all to write that down. You need to start studying how you became how you are. Let me tell you, I know that's you, but that may not be the full you that you need to be. How you became? What happened to you? What's your story? You need to study that so that now you can get rid of the stuff that's illegitimate and hold on to the stuff that's legit. Some of y'all have been molested, and that no longer has the power to rule over the identity that you want. It might have happened to you, but it doesn't have the power over who you can become. You got to deal with that. I mean, it's like this. Your personhood, your soul, I keep using those words interchangeably because that's what your soul is, your personhood. Literally, it's the key to you being free to live for real. And the Bible talks about this idea. When John is talking about Jesus, he said that the axe is laid at the root. Literally, the root is getting down to the defilement that is going on in your personhood. That's the root. See, a lot of times we deal with little fruit symptomologies, and then they keep cropping up. You get past depression, you got a few weeks out of the box, and then here come another one. No, you've been dealing with the fruit. You ain't dealing with you. So now you no longer live by that report. Okay. Then you got to deal with who you're called to become. Now, it don't mean that you become that instantly, but you got to start speaking words over your life that allow you to become what the word says you have the power to be. Okay, these are the last ones we can get out of here. Our soul, our personhood, is a critical area that we have not spent time unraveling. When you're unraveling, is knowing it so that now we can get the stuff that has been deposited in us by the wicked one from our experience, our history, and this reality. We can get that stuff dislodged. Some of us, because we grow up poor, we're dependent upon having a certain amount of money. And when money goes below that level, man, something happens to us internally. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? That's your personhood. Paul said this, none of these things move me. And we have to learn how to be unmovable. The scripture said be steadfast, unmovable, always, come on, help me, abounding. Come on now, I mean, God said this to be your reality, but you gotta get the stuff out of your life that is defiling the personhood that God says you have the power to walk in. See, many of us are not walking in our giftedness because we're not spending time studying it, but we got to spend time studying what's going on in our soul and our personhood. See, some of y'all, I can't even talk to y'all because if I start talking to you, your personhood will get offended. And I could be telling the very naked truth. I'm so glad that Tiffany stood up because at first I said, man, just go. She decided, I don't want to get up there and tell everybody. and if the enemy has his way, she can walk out of here. I don't know why he made me put myself on Front Street. Anybody ever been put on Front Street before? Ain't no Front Street for you. Your life is an open spectacle so that people can see where God's glory is done. Sister Tony down here. I'm telling y'all, this is where the church has to go. And the reason why is because we got to teach our kids how to get their souls to the place where now they can experience how to live. Kirk Franklin wrote that song, just before I live, I got to die. There's some things that need to die in you. I was telling the people earlier today when I first got married, there were some things I didn't like, my personhood. I didn't like Brussels sprouts. I didn't like broccoli. And I didn't like spinach. And the reason why I didn't like spinach is because when I was younger, we went out on the farm. And while we were on the farm, we grew spinach. So I brought it back home and my mama cooked it. And she cooked it so long that it became slimy. And so when I put it in my mouth, half of it was down my throat and the other half of it was still in my mouth and I began to gag. That experience, I'm trying to help y'all understand how experiences can come and they take a stronghold in your personhood. wife that she went out and bought some of that chopped spinach. And that girl knew how to cook it right. You hear what I'm saying? And I fell in love with spinach. Y'all hear what I'm saying? I understood how Popeye felt. But my personhood in the beginning was rejecting. See, your personhood is rejecting of discipline, teaching, and training. I mean, who wants to go on training? You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, some of us got high blood pressure and sugar diabetes, and our person here is like, I like sugar. I'm gonna put me some salt on my food. Y'all hear what I'm saying? No. You think why? Because you're leading to your own understanding about how you should be actually cultivating your life. So, our person has been cultivated by the influences from the world around us. And like I said, I'm not saying this was your fault. You were naive about some of this stuff. How many of y'all got into some stuff naively? You see that? You was hanging around with the cool people, and so they decided to do this, and you're like, oh, okay. See that? Someone on the inside was saying, that ain't how you should.